From your home to City Hall, from your neighborhood to the White House, from your city to the world and beyond. This is Alpha City News with Craig Allen. Greetings, Alpha citizens. This is Craig Allen. This week on Alpha City News, a Neo-Deity appears in the sky. A busy week due to absent heroes and a statement from Rex Revile. Mechanical Bill and Jacky Quick put their heads together, and more. Exegesis, reclusive genius of the Neo-Deities of Amazingville, from the incalculably distant planet of Sub-Origenis, appeared in the sky above Alpha City Wednesday evening, his magnificent infinity throne shining brightly in the night sky. While a small cult of Neo-Deity worshippers made a ruckus on Delancey Street, directly below the throne, in an attempt to draw Exegesis' attention, boy photographer Johnny Munson, who has had many adventures with the Neo-Deities, rode his skybike up to speak with the taciturn alien. Upon his return to street level, Munson assured Alpha City Police that exegesis meant no harm, but was simply taking readings for information on one of his otherworldly mental mysteries, and would be gone shortly. Sure enough, 2 hours later, the Infinity Throne and its majestic occupant vanished without a trace. On Delancey Street, several of the human worshippers were arrested for blocking traffic. It's been a busy week here in Alpha City, as the knowledge that Captain Stupendous, Empyrean, Lady Lunar, and the High Frontiersmen are all off-planet, dealing with the forces of the Titanian Methane Man invasion fleet, has caused many supervillains to try their luck at evil, hoping the remaining heroes would be unable to deal with the onslaught. Anders Brightman, Jacky Quick, the Conundrum Corporation, Clayton Astounding, Lust for Justice, Madame Man, and visiting hero Glorioso all saw action almost every day this week. The Bright Man in particular faced everyone from the Ableist to Zeontron, and emerged victorious in all but 3 encounters, where Hammerlord, Negate, and Swamp Rat each escaped, although none managed to keep their ill-gotten gains. Even Big Weird Joe was on point, teaming with Lust for Justice to bring down the Havoc Squad, and stopping Lava Lamp, the Dunce, and the Volstead actor on his own. Speaking from his maximum security prison cell, noted Captain Stupendous archenemy Rex Revile referred to the villains involved as, quote, cretinous losers, impotent lackwits without the intestinal fortitude to face their enemies on a level field, unable to best these pernicious do-gooders at their mightiest, and in so doing, prove the true greatness of pure evil and badness. Revile does not strike his foes when they are weak, he said, for doing so is the tactic of the weak. I will destroy goodness at the peak of its power, and so will stand over the broken corpse evermore in righteous strength and cruelty. Stupendio delenda est. Revile then proceeded to cackle for several long, disquieting minutes. Mechanical Bill was spotted in the business district, stopping the shenanigans of the one-armed bandit, who was hoping to blackmail the stock exchange with the threat of burial under millions of metallic coins. Though the bandit's spray of coins did compromise some of Mechanical Bill's moving parts, the Steel Sentinel managed to pin the bandit's arm and stop the perilous payout. Intrepid reporter Lindy Johnston, covering the story for ACN, also spotted Jacky Quick arriving as the bandit was carted away, and saw her buttonhole Mechanical Bill for a brief but intense conversation. Is Jacky Quick still on the trail of Dr. Metronome, seeking help of a mechanical man to beat the bad doctor's clockwork beam? Only time can tell, Alpha Citizen. Red Eric and Bad Penny Copper were found to be the perpetrators of a number of Daylight Skyway car robberies that have occurred over the past 2 weeks. Mr. Zero managed to follow one car as it, while going through the Bacon Street 34th floor tunnel, was transported to a Yancey River warehouse by unknown means. Once in the warehouse, which was fitted with track for the Skycar to roll on, Mr. Zero found that Red Eric and Bad Penny were using 2 super science items, one to transport the Skycar from the Bacon Street tunnel to the warehouse, and a second to render the riders unconscious until the Skycar was transported back to the tunnel. As the nefarious pair moved to the Skycar, robbing the insensate citizens, Mr. Zero made his presence known by giving a solid drubbing to the ne'er-do-wells. When questioned by Alpha City PD about how they had come to possess the two devices, Red Eric was heard to say, "The machinist makes good stuff," before being told to shut his stupid mouth by Bad Penny. Mr. Zero is said to be looking into this machinist. Radiant had a rough day Wednesday, as she and Black Maria had an extensive battle that ranged from Midtown to the Floptown rail yards. Black Maria, who is rapidly rising in the ranks of Radiant's enemies, was discovered by the Crimson Heroine lurking near Freedom Spire, apparently spying on a nearby office. Radiant took her shadowy nemesis by surprise, and at first seemed to be well on her way to a handy victory. But Black Maria took advantage of Radiant's slight vulnerability to electricity to create breathing room, and from then on, onlookers reported that Radiant was heavily on the defensive. Black Maria seemed to be able to discern what attack Radiant would mount a second before the attack was made, allowing her to counter each and put her Radiance back on her heels. Desperately trying to regain the upper hand, Radiant found herself battered on all fronts, being knocked into both the Darger and Triumph buildings, each of which sustained structural damage, punched through a sky car, and thrown in front of and struck by an automated delivery truck, before being brought to ground in the rail yards. Black Maria was preparing to perform a coup de grace with an empty subway car on the stunned Radiant when Hero Union members Hardstrike and the Flying Shark joined the battle. Although they seemed to be equally at the mercy of the unstoppable Black Maria, the sinister Shadow Woman disengaged and fled the scene in short order. The bruised Radiant also left for Hero Union headquarters before reporters could ask her about the battle. Here's hoping Radiant can regroup and bring a better outcome the next time she and Black Maria meet. I'm being handed a newsflash here. Alpha Citizens, Dr. Metronome is, as we speak, being pursued through the Red Bank area by Jackie Quick. She began her pursuit as Metronome left a jewelry exchange on Diamond Street with a satchel full of uncut diamonds. Metronome seems to have planned for the Lady of Speed's interference, though, as his route through Red Bank has turned Ms. Quick's blinding speed against her. They have been moving across ground-level streets, have moved to rooftops, and from there have apparently taken to the sky-car rails. Intrepid reporter Lindy Johnston is trying to keep up with them, and is saying that they seem to be moving north on the orange sky-car tracks, and Jackie Quick has taken a glancing hit from southbound Skycar Orange number 3 and has dropped to the roof just below. Metronome has himself leapt from the tracks, landing on a metal buttress and sliding down out of view, still heading north. Lindy, can you see Miss Quick? Lindy? It's very tense here. The Lindy Johnson has spotted Jackie Quick, who appears largely undamaged, and says she is speeding along power lines from rooftop to rooftop, trying to spot Dr. Metronome. Well, both of the players are out of sight now, and we urge anyone who has observed Ms. Quick or Metronome moving along Pettibone Avenue to email us right away at alphacitynews@gmail.com. Lindy Johnston will be following up with us as soon as new information becomes available. Moonbase Selene, site of last week's attempted invasion by the Titanian Methane Men, has been keeping a telescopic eye on the group of heroes that left to rout the rest of the Methane Man fleet. They report that the tracker from Titan's ship has joined with the Royal Titanian Fleet and had, as of approximately 13 hours ago, began the operation to end the Methane Man threat. It appears that our brave heroes have already routed the enemy fleet, and a laser semaphore message has been received from Captain Stupendous, indicating that he, the Empyrean, and the tracker from Titan would be remaining for a few days to help contain the last of the threat, while Lady Lunar, Miss Meteor, Cosmonaut, the High Frontiersman, and Space Cowboy will be returning to Earth as quickly as possible. Look to the sky for our victorious heroes' return, Alpha Citizens, expected sometime shortly after midnight tonight. And now for a message from our sponsor, Hereditary Industries. At Hereditary Industries, we're ready to help you with anything you need. We understand that the revelation of our former owner being exposed as the dreaded Magnetic Emperor has somewhat damaged our credibility with the buying public, and, as such, we're announcing a 5% We're Sorry discount on all consumer products purchased during the next week. Hereditary Industries, where we're very sorry for the whole supervillain thing. Rogue scientist Ilgrin Hauser was in court today to face sentencing for using a huge, four-armed, prehistoric ape creature as part of an attempt to murder super scientist Edison Rao, whom Hauser hated for disproving Hauser's theory about the prehistoric existence of huge, four-armed ape creatures. Hauser shocked the courtroom by standing and addressing the judge, the district attorney, and Edison Rao, promising vengeance on each of them. Hauser then pulled his face off, revealing that it was a robot and not the actual Hauser, and showed the courtroom a bomb which was implanted in its chest. Edison Rao, moving like lightning, managed to hurl the robot through one of the courtroom's windows, placing it far enough from the packed courtroom to prevent injury. Upon investigation, it was found that Hauser had managed to escape from his cell in the courthouse by boring a hole in the foundation, at which time it is assumed he substituted the robot for himself. Hauser's current whereabouts are unknown. Eisner University and the entire University Square neighborhood is on alert today, as clues mount that last night's abduction of Rita Marquez, an Eisner University student, is the work of the Plague Doctor. The Plague Doctor, last seen in December 2009, has a history of abducting people he thinks will be good carriers for infectious disease. The Plague Doctor is said to have come to the conclusion that the human race needs to be culled by large-scale, highly deadly viral outbreaks along the lines of the bubonic plague, and that the time for such a culling is long past. Anders Brightman, known as the Bright Man, is working with ACPD and campus security to cover the area they believe the Plague Doctor might be in, and ask all residents to secure all doors and windows, avoid walking alone if possible, and suggest that some sort of disinfectant be carried, as the Plague Doctor has a noted antipathy to such substances. Presto the Witch, our city's mistress of magic, will be attending the opening of the Alpha City Museum of Superhistory City of Magic exhibition, opening this Monday afternoon. The display will cover most of the arcane folklore of Alpha City's history, from its prehistory to the 1880s ghost hunter Marcus Pettibone, through the heroic adventures of Siegfried the Wizard and the Prestidigitator in the 30s, the demon invasion of 1987, and covering the current crop of magically themed heroes of today. The presentation will be open through the end of March and is the second of 3 scheduled exhibits about the various origins of heroes in Alpha City, following last year's City of Science and Technology and ending with next year's City of Metagenes. Tickets for the opening ceremony and subsequent meet and greet are sold out, but tickets to the exhibition itself are still available. Come and see some of our city's rich history, Alpha citizens. We've just received word from Lindy Johnston, who had a chance to speak with Jackie Quick. Miss Quick, limping slightly from her contact with Skyway Car Orange number 3, said that Dr. Metronome had indeed escaped after dropping from sight on Pettibone Street. When asked to comment on the day's events, Ms. Quick said that, while her pursuit of the Doctor had been a failure, it might not be quite as successful as the Doctor thought it was. Then, flashing our Lindy a wink, Ms. Quick vanished at high speed. Lindy believes, and I concur, that more was going on in the pursuit of Dr. Metronome than spectators, and even the Metronome himself, could see. And on this week's Super Combat Scorecard, the Tickler fell afoul of the Chicken of Tomorrow. The Astrologer was interrupted and captured just before he and the Sons of Agartha could steal the display of astrologically significant jewels from the Natural History Museum. We have Gargantua, Edison Rao, and the girl with the key to thank for that. Frisbee-Naut was grounded by punching Judy. Jetpack Jones deflated the dirigible. Ironclad fought the Cupro-Nickel Alloy Man. Structure, the living building, helped to keep the Star of Madeline ocean liner afloat, when it began to sink at the Alpha docks. The rodeo clown and barrel man stopped a gang of car thieves working in the University Square, Floptown area. Strange Attractor pulled in the Wallaby. Spinning Jenny managed to leave Roman the human robot dizzy as she escaped police custody while being transported to Maryvale Prison. Cyclone Master lost out to the Bowery Legion. And lastly, a series of hauntings at the Longmont Mansion in the Heights neighborhood has been revealed to be an attempt by Augustus Longmont, uncle to the heirs of the Longmont fortune, twins Richard and Rose Longmont, to keep the children from remaining in the house until they reach legal age, which is a requirement for inheriting their late parents' fortune. The guardians of the twins secured the services of Mr. Sebastian If, psychic detective, to help clear the House of Spirits, and it seems he succeeded in clearing at least one mean spirit. This has been Alpha City News with Craig Allen. Alpha City News is produced by Carter Lee. Sound beds are provided by newsbeds.com. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please share them with us at alphacitynews@gmail.com. You can download us on iTunes, at Stitcher, at Libsyn, or on SoundCloud, and find us at wordpress.com under Alpha City News. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a super day, Alpha Citizen.